YouTube family, welcome to another Two Family Homestead live stream. Woo!
Well, let's see if this is working here tonight. How is everybody doing? Living the dream, built on a rock. Bandana, how you doing? Is that Scan Family? Is that what that says?
Mm-hmm.
Scan Family, welcome. Emily Gross. Lazy Bunny Homestead. Good. I'm glad it sounded good. Whiskey of Sunshine Off Grid. Watching a 3-minute ad. Be there in a bit. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate that. Rebel Canners. Down Under Farm and Forge. Good day to you.
Down under, do you
I'm
think
guessing.
you know where they are?
I'm guessing
Okay.
they're Australia.
Very good.
I'm guessing they're Australia.
I'm impressed.
Miracle Farm 1927 Homestead. Just got home from a dinner date. What did you have, Bandana? Where did he take you? Built on a rock homestead. Supposed to have thunderstorms tonight. Weather seems to be good at the moment, but been having a lot of buffering this evening. Hope it isn't a problem during this live. I hope it isn't. I hope everything is good on this end. All the lights over here are green at the moment. So it looks like we're doing okay.
According to this, we're supposed to have rain tonight and tomorrow. But that'll change.
Naturally NC, hello.
Anna.
Cecilia Jansen. Seafood
Ooh.
Palace Buffet. Wow. What? Okay, Bandana, I have to ask. Was it a true buffet? Because we've been to a couple places that because of COVID stuff, it was no longer being served as a buffet.
They served you.
They served you. You walk through and they would scoop out for you whatever you wanted. So I guess it was still kind of like a buffet, but it wasn't a self-serve buffet. Rebecca Nichols, hello.
It was like going through the school lunchroom line.
Well, Scan Family, thank you so much for being a subscriber. We certainly do appreciate it. Mama's East Texas Kitchen. Scan Family, I've had internet and cell phone outages for a few days. Where you at? I mean, is this related to the hurricanes that came through?
Bandana, same thing. Yeah, they roped it off and you pointed to what you wanted and they put it on the plate.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Keto Homestead with Jess, hello. Farmstead Smith. Yesterday was awful. Whiskey in the Sunshine Off Grid. That's I like that. Whiskey in the Sunshine.
You like that?
I like that. Let's see, Bunny Homestead. All right.
Scan Family, where are you? Oh, see there?
In
They must have
Kansas.
read my mind before I even got it out of my
Yeah.
mouth.
Well, I thought I asked them, but I may not.
Oh,
have.
okay. You could have.
Geeky Gardens. Okay. Well,
Our local Ant Catfish has a buffet. Ant Catfish. That's different. Yeah, our golden. That's where we went to. Lazy Bunny was our golden corral. Yeah. Yeah. You and you're not even allowed to really point underneath the acrylic
oh yeah, you got,
thing. You have to stand 10 feet away and go.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll have some of that.
yeah, you're pointing from
Yeah.
a distance.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It's like they almost handcuff you to walk you through the line, so you keep your hands behind your back. Anyway, so I thought we would do something a little bit different tonight.
Patty, Mac, not sure which one.
I'm going to show you how I edit a multi-camera video. Now, if you've all been watching some of our recent uploads, now I'm not talking the live streams, but the recent uploads, Sherry's been keeping me nice and healthy with all of her great cooking and all that goodness that she pumps out of the kitchen there. And we've been making some videos on that. I want you to know, I just set up the cameras and I get out of the kitchen. Although if she does ask a question like, how much is a half pound of pepperoni? I will inform her that it's about 8 ounces. But other than that, and if you want to see what I'm talking about, just go to the last video there. The
First 2 minutes.
Pepperoni salad. Anyway, we've been doing this with a 4-camera setup. Now, the thumbnail that I used was not a representation of our cameras that we use. The 4 cameras that we use, I'm using a Canon Vixia
Hush, Jack.
HF 800, and I'm using a Canon Vixia HF 700, and it's got a wide-angle adapter lens on the front of it. I'm also using this wonderful little thing right here. It's a GoPro. It's a Hero 7. It's black, 7 black. And that is a great camera. Oh, yeah, we can't forget these. We also use a phone. So those are the 4 cameras that we use. And one of the things you have to be aware of when you're recording, or you should be aware of, what you are recording the video in. Is it 30 frames a second? Is it 60 frames a second? 29 frames a second? What is the recording rate? The reason where this becomes important with multiple camera setups is when you start combining the various captured video, if it's I'll be the first one to say the editors will do an absolute outstanding job, but they can do a better job if they're dealing with the same resolution, like 1080, the same frames per second, like 30. The format is not all that important as long as the underlying base is 30 frames a second, 1080. In other words, I do not even touch 4K. I just don't do it. There's no reason to do it. The files are 4 times as big, and they take up so much room, and the editing takes forever.
Your screen is very dark, and they can barely see your face, let alone the things you're showing them.
Oh. All right. Well, let me try this then.
Thank you, Lazy Bunny, because I have mentioned that to him in the past.
All right. We have now turned on our overhead
see?
light.
Bandana says, didn't you pay the electric bill? No, he doesn't. I do. Yeah, they couldn't see the cameras you showed them.
All right. I'll go back over those.
Thank you, folks. No, you're funny. You're fine, Lazy Bunny.
We're using using a Canon Vixia HF 800 and a Canon Vixia HF 700, which is just a little bit older. So this was the prior model to that one. This one I have a wide angle lens adapter on the front that just screws on and off. I do have, I don't have it here in front of me, but I do have a Rode shotgun mic that I plug into the camera. And that, of course, then overrides the built-in microphone. Also use a GoPro. And that's, this happens to be a Hero Black 7 is what the model of this one is. And we use a phone. It's an iPhone, but it's a phone. It could be an Android. It could be any type of phone. So those are the 4 cameras we used in tonight's example.
Do you always use a dead cat over the mic? We don't even have a dead cat.
I don't. Our cats. We don't have any cats at all anymore. So.
Yeah, our last cat went to Louisiana.
Yeah, we did have a cat, but it was quite alive when it left. No. Now let me qualify that. I don't have one. But you don't need that inside unless maybe you're standing in front of an air conditioner or a big fan that you've got all kinds of air movement. That's designed to silence the wind outdoors. They work absolutely great. I don't have one. We don't do a lot of outdoor videos. We do some. So we just tell the weather to hold up, don't blow too hard. Let us get our video in. So those are the 4 cameras that we used here. The
camera names. Okay, wasn't talking about the dead cat.
Oh, I suppose maybe I should say that in case people don't know. Yeah, the dead cat is, if you just Google microphone dead cat, you'll just see this real fuzzy thing it's just a covering. It's a fake fur thing that goes over the end of a microphone, and it disperses the wind noise.
Geeky Gardens, Jack's catching feral cats lately if you need one. Offer them to Grizz. Cat's life matters.
Oh, it's probably Black Cat Lives Matter. I mean, we got to have it right here. Anyway. Oh, boy, did I get a look. You guys are very fortunate. Sherry's remaining off screen over here because the whole side of my face here should be sunburnt from the stare I just got. Okay. So, the files that I am using from those 4 sources let me bring this over. I dropped them into an area, a folder on the computer. Put all the files in there so they're easy to find. I keep track of them, try to keep track of them. And so the files that I have are, let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 11 files here to do this last video that she did using those 4 cameras. Now the reason that there's so many, actually there was only 10, but if you go back here, you'll notice that this says GHO 1024 MP4, and then GHO 20124 MP4, and then 3124 MP4. Those are actually sequential. They're all 124s. It's 1, 2, and 3. that is the footage that was produced by the GoPro.
Heaven's Gate's asking, what editing program are you using?
I am using, tonight, I'm going to be using Power Director, Cyberlink Power Director. Great program. We got a link for it in the bottom. I got to tell you that because they actually did give us a link that we can use should anybody decide they might like to purchase that. And I have to tell you up front that that's, it's an affiliate link. And I think that if you decide to buy this program, we would get $2.78 or something like that. It's not a lot, but hey, every little bit helps. This one sequences directly into this one and into this one. So I've already done a little pre-thing here. I've taken those 3 files, put them end to end in the editor, and rendered them. So I have a single file here that's a representation of those 3. You sometimes have to do that based upon your source on your cameras. Some cameras use smaller sections than others, but that's not an uncommon thing. And they just flow together, but you just let your program throw them together. The dish that she worked on here was, what was this called? Zucchini boats?
Yeah, the one you haven't done yet?
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, zucchini boats. I think I can show a picture here. So these are the zucchini boats. And they're okay. I'm not a real big fan. Stuffing's real good. I'm just not the squashed zucchini person. I mean, it's okay. But
says the man who wouldn't eat tomatoes before we were together, or spinach.
There's nothing wrong with that. I have always liked ketchup.
Yeah, as long as it's in liquid form.
Tomato soup.
Yeah.
Ketchup.
Or ketchup.
Or pizza sauce.
Right.
Or spaghetti sauce. The raw tomatoes, though, I think it was the acid.
You and Maya. No, I have grown yellow ones just for you, and you still won't touch them.
Oh, then they don't even look like tomatoes. Then they're eating some other kind of mush stuff.
So let's not go there.
All right. So anyway, with this particular thing that was done, she prepared all these, and then we shut the cameras off because they had to bake. I don't know how long they had to bake for. I don't remember, but that's neither here nor there. When they were done, we then started the cameras back up and created the second part of video. Well, in order to keep this nice and light and fun and easy to see and I hope understand and see what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, we're just going to look at the...
Sorry.
We're just going to look at the second half of of what will be the finished thing. Now, I've not done any editing here. This is all just raw out of the camera. The only thing I did do was I took, and we're not even going to look at this, but this was these first 3 clips. I just rendered those all together into a single file. And I'll show you why I did that here in just a moment. So what you see in front of you here is Power Director. Let me get it just a little bit better. There we go. Oh, and I want you to notice here, if you have Power Director 365, you also have access to Shutterstock, and you get videos, you get pictures, and you get music. All free. All ready to use. Shutterstock, so there's a ton of stuff out there, but this is not what that's all about. Enough commercial for Power Director. So I'm going to import the files I need to work with, and what I'm importing is the second half of the show. So that would be this one, and this one, and this one, and this one. That's my 4 cameras. So we'll just bring those into the program here.
What can't you see, Lazy Bunny?
Yep, we're going to stop right now. If there's something they're not able to see what I have to do different. The window wasn't showing.
I have it on mine.
Okay, this is when I'm in File Explorer. This is the window you couldn't see. And I have to let the video catch up to me here.
The window where you were choosing the files. Is what they're saying.
Okay. The window where I was choosing.
They can see Power Director, but not the window you picked the files from.
Okay. And
Gotcha.
that could be because, and the reason for that is I'm not doing a screen capture.
Hey, Howie.
I'm actually doing a capture just on the program itself here. But what I did was I went into that directory and I selected these 4 files. And I know that these 4 files are the second half of the dish she prepared that night. So let me just pull these down one at a time. This one, well, let me do it this way. I want to keep it. All right, 1, 2, doesn't matter. There we go. Okay, this is what I'm going to call the front shot. This is the pretty much directly in front of Sherry when she's working at her kitchen island there. This was done with a Canon Vixia HF 800 using the shotgun mic for sound. And don't know what else I can really tell you about it. So then on the side of the island, looking at this picture here, looking at this image, over to the left where you can kind of see the doorway over here, we had had the other Vixia camera set up, which would be this one. So this is looking down at the island from that left-hand side. And then from the right-hand side, that would be this one. This was the phone. The phone was on a small tripod, phone holder, sitting on top of a Instapot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's balanced on top of an Instapot. And then the overhead shot, you'll all chuckle at this one, was this one. And you're actually going to get to see a little bit more of what we do in the kitchen here. To get the GoPro started, I need to look at it. I need to turn it on, get it going. That's the only way I trust it. And so consequently, it's looking back at me as I get this set up. But if you look over my shoulders here, you're gonna see the lights around over the top of the cupboards in the kitchen. Those are all LED lights that bring daylight into the kitchen. Would that be a fair way to say it, Sherry?
Right.
Yeah, they just bring the daylight into the kitchen. The window is there, and obviously this was done on a nice bright day. So we got a lot of light coming in from the window, which would cast a lot of shadows. By turning these other lights on, the entire work area in front of Sherry shows up very well. And sometimes we put some fill lights in even behind her, but that's how this is done. So I've got my 4 different cameras, but I can't start them all at the same time. So I have to go around to each one of them and get them going and start them up. And well, the problem with that is these are all out of sync. Now, if you play them individually, they'll sound fine. But well, let's do this, just for example. Okay, so I'm going to play. What I'm doing here is I'm turning off tracks. So I have the front shot video turned on, but the sound turned off. And I have the sound turned on from the overhead from the GoPro. So if I play this, let me think what I'm doing here so I don't create feedback.
BC truck, you never know what can happen in the kitchen. Just saying.
And as you can see, the sound that you're hearing has nothing to do with what she's saying, what she's doing.
Is that on dark mode? Oh, never mind. Okay.
So I'm going to stop it right here. And I'm going to turn the sound on that's on that camera, just so you can see.
And just drizzle it around the edges so they would cook.
Okay. So here's what needs to happen. I'm going to turn all the tracks back on. Now, one way you can synchronize your video and sound is to use what's called a clapboard. That's one of those, and I'm down here in the corner. I think you can all see me down here. That's one of these things that, claps together and you go action. You have that clap, which puts a spike of sound out that you can match up with all of your different tracks. Well, fortunately, Power Director has a different method that you can use. I mean, you could always use that. But if you highlight all of your tracks here, you can just click Sync by Audio. Okay. So what it's done now is it has put these all together so that the audio is within a frame or so of being exact. And again, just to demonstrate that, I'm going to turn off the video and audio on the end cameras. And the front camera, I'm turning off the audio. So I just have the video from the front camera. And I have the audio from the GoPro. This should be very close.
Okay, zucchini boats are out of the oven. 375, 35 minutes, and they smell wonderful.
Okay, and as you can see, that matched it up very nicely. So we're going to turn everything back on again. And what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to get to a start area. Actually, I could go anywhere in here, but I want to go, and I'm going to catch just the very edge of this track that was the last one to start. I have all 4 of these clips lined up now, and I'm just going to slice them. So they've all been cut. I'm going to get rid of the front parts of these. And I am using keyboard shortcuts to delete this, but you can... This one I'll show you. If you do a right click on it, you can say remove, fill gap, move all clips. Okay, I should be back. They can probably hear me now, but I have no idea where I'm at with this stuff, so I have to get a few things started over here on this side. Let's try restore.
Whole Heart Heritage, you're not late.
No, we just came back from a disaster.
Yeah, really. What did you use to get the overhead shot was one of the questions.
The overhead shot was done with a GoPro.
Yeah, Jess, he uses more than one camera. He has 1, 2, 3, 4.
I used 4 cameras.
And there's I will have to take a picture of what he uses to put the camera overhead and post it on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, because it's definitely not a tripod. Well, Lazy Bunny, it's sort of, we have, our cupboard system has the open shelving unit at the top, so our cupboards don't go all the way up to the ceiling. So he has a piece of wood sticking out, and we have it weighted on one side with a paper bag and something in that bag to hold it down. And then at the other end of the piece of wood, he put in a screw, and that's what he...
It has the same thread
he mounts the camera to. It's ingenious.
The same thread as what you get for like a camera mount. It's a quarter 24, I think.
He's also done something similar when we're outside, and he hangs the camera up from a tree limb.
Yeah, I've put it on the end of...
Southern Ingenuity. Yeah, he has Southern Ingenuity, I guess.
Yeah, put it on the end of conduit. Okay.
They come for the nudity on your channel, Brad? Because it's not here.
All right. So I think I'm back to where I was. Hopefully this won't crash. So, and I haven't checked this. I'm just assuming this because when I opened the program, it said Power Director found a temporary file. Would you like to open it? And I said, absolutely. And this is what it brought me back to. So I didn't lose anything. Well, I lost a little, but not much. So we're going to cut all 4 of these videos, slice them. Actually, let me back up here a minute. We're going to undo that. All right.
There you go, Dee. Exactly. Yeah, mine derailed a long time ago.
All right, we're going to turn all the rows back on. There, we did that. And now I'm going to cut these so they all have the same start spot at the beginning. So now we'll come through and we'll trim these off. And I'll do it this way so you can see exactly what I'm doing. I'm going to say remove and leave gap. Remove and leave gap. Remove and leave the gap. And then on the one that's all the way over to the start side, I'm going to remove that section, fill the gap, and move all clips. And what that does is that brings everything over here to the start, if you would. So let's move toward the end of this. I could stop right here, but I normally go a step further. Let me see where we're at. I'm going to play a little bit of this. Okay. So I'm just going to cut these all off. I'm going to back up a little bit. There's no point having all that extra on there. That should be good. And I'm just going to, again, slice all 4 of the clips at the same time. And for these, I can just highlight it, hit delete because it's at the end. There's no gaps to fill, nothing to move. We're just getting rid of the excess on the end. So I now have these 4 pieces of video from 4 different cameras, all timed together, at least twice close enough that you would be pretty hard pressed to determine whether or not what am I saying? I guess it may not be perfect. If we play a little bit of this, you may hear a slight fatness of the voice.
Some of that filling.
Almost like an echo.
Whew. One thing I didn't do before I took.
But that's all 4 of these playing all at the same time. So here's what I need to do at this point. I need 4 individual clips that are all timed together. So I'm just going to go create them. And I'm just going to start with this top one here. I'm going to turn off both the video and the sound on every other clip. So at this point, this top clip that you see here, I'll just highlight it. This one here that's in blue, that is the only clip that is playing. These other 3 timelines are turned off. And I did that over here just by checking these boxes. So this one now, I'm going to produce this. This is and I want to put them back into the folder where they're easy for me to find, so I know where they're at. So I'm going to say trimmed 2 because this is the second half of the video. I'm going to put them in here. So this in this particular clip is the front view. So I'm just going to, that's what I'm going to name it. Front. Save. I'm producing this at 1920 by 1080, 30 frames per second. It's a little over 3.5 minutes in length for the length of the clip. And this one is done. So we'll go back to the edit page. Living the dream. Some people do. I have not saved all of our videos, but I do have. We do have some 2, 3, 4 terabyte external hard drives that we save a lot of stuff on. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn that top line off and go to this view. And in case you didn't see what I'm doing, it's over here on the left-hand side. I've turned this one off. I've turned this one on. The bottom 2 are still turned off. So I'll go to produce. And I'm going to call this one the I'm going to call it the right view because it's from Sherry's right. So we're just going to call this one the right view. Doesn't matter what you call it, as long as you know what it is. And let's go ahead and we'll just render this one very quickly. 3 minutes and 35 seconds worth of video is rendered in 18 seconds. It's not bad. All right, let's go back to the edit page. Now we'll turn those 2 off. I'm now going to this clip. This is part of the process one needs to go through when you start using multiple cameras. So you can sync everything up and have it look pretty. So this one, I'm going to call this one the left view. Okay. Now this is a view that was taken with the phone, and it was a .mov file. It was not an MP4. So it took it a little bit longer, a few seconds longer, 25 seconds. So we'll go back to the edit page. And we'll turn that line off. And we'll turn our overhead on, and let's produce it. We'll just call it overhead. This is the one that was taken with the GoPro.
Yeah, a lot of them edit on their phone, not on the computer.
And we're back to 18 seconds to render this one.
Living the Dream. My 16-minute clip took almost an hour.
I don't know what software program you're using. I can tell you this. I will sit back and say, you folks that edit on your phones, I admire you to do that. Number one, the phone's so darn little. With my old eyes, I can't see well enough to do it. My fingers are too fat to operate controls on the phone. I would just screw everything up with a phone. So, no, I put everything on a computer where I have, and I use a trackball mouse. I'll hold it up here so y'all can see it. It's you don't slide it around. It's sitting in one spot, and the mouse moves by moving the ball. And I just find that to be pretty accurate. So I've now gotten back to this here. All of these have been rendered. And when it renders the video, it automatically puts them in to the top up here. If you notice, this is left, right, overhead, and front. So I'm going to take these 4 videos, which they're kind of in memory. Remember, we trimmed off the front, we trimmed off the back. I'm just going to delete those. I don't want them in there. I'm going to go a step further. I don't even want them up on top here. So I have those 4 selected on top. There we go. And they're gone. Now, Power Director's got a neat little plug-in that you can use using up to 4 cameras to create a single video where it's easy to watch and learn and see what all you're doing. I could put all these down on 4 timelines, bearing in mind that on the bottom timeline, that preempts everything above it. So if I want things to show from something on track 1, I have to make sure everything on tracks 2 and 3 and 4 are either turned off or hidden or in some fashion allowing track 1 to be seen. But they have this plugin, and it's called a Multicam Designer. And it's good for up to 4 input sources. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to import from the media room. I have just my 4 cameras here. I'm going to use front as number 1. I'll say OK. For number 2, whoops, I clicked the wrong one. Import from media room. This one, I'm going to have the overhead. So we'll click OK. From number 3, well, because that's on the left, let's just go ahead and use the left. And of course, then this one would be right. So I have a choice here. I can do a single video or I can do a collage of the videos. If you watched, was it the last one? I think it was the last one I did the collage where.
Yes.
Okay. The collage takes, in my opinion, it takes a little bit more work to make a nice finished product. Right now, we're just going to go with single video. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to play the video. And based upon where things are at, when I highlight these 4 camera views, that's what it's going to record. I'm going to use the audio source. Everything I'm using is from camera 1. That's the front view. That's the one that I had the shotgun mic on. It has the absolute best audio on it. So let's just go ahead and we'll hit the record.
Okay. Zucchini boats are out of the oven. 375, 35 minutes. And they smell wonderful. So I'm going to, should have brought me a spatula over. Now, the one thing I did do, which I didn't do on camera, was I did take a little bit of oil
I can hear
and just drizzle it around the edges so they would cook.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Definitely the zucchini's done.
Oh, that's why. I can hear it on my. Yeah, poor Bew smudge. Carrie.
Give this
Night,
a try.
Rebecca. Thank you for
It
stopping.
is steaming hot. Some of that filling.
Dinner is right after the live stream.
Whew.
We're having
One thing I
steaks
didn't do
cooked in water.
when before I took them out of the oven,
That should
what I should have done
make
was
people wonder.
put some of the grated parm on top.
They're not seeing a
Maybe
video.
turn on the
here
broiler
only.
for a minute or two and brown the tops with the parm cheese on it.
Are they supposed
What
to
I
see
did was
video?
after I
They
put it
should
out
have
here on
seen
my
it or
island,
not. I don't know
I
why
put
or
some of
not.
the grated
Thank you, Carrie, because
shredded Parmesan cheese, and it's already melted onto
he
it
didn't bring it over.
Well,
hot and steamy.
Should be there now. Or getting there.
Actually, very good. I can see these being a main meal, whether like I said, you do
well, since
with
they missed that because this
meatloaf-type
isn't that
filling.
long
or
of a
pepperoni.
video, I'm going to go back.
Yep, there it is.
I'm just going to hit cancel.
Okay. Yeah, Columbus is a tad for you. Yeah, we're between you and Jess, and then we're right in the middle of Cleveland and Columbus off 71.
Let me see if I can get a better screen. I think you can see a little bit more that way. So here's what I do.
Take care, Jess.
I'm going to go into the plugin tab. I'm going to open the Multicam Designer. it can handle up to 4 input sources. I sound like I repeated myself, but I did because I didn't see this. So here's what I'm going to do. In the first one, I'm going to import from the media room because that's where I put these. I'm going to use the front. For number 2, I'm going to use the overhead. For number 3, I'm going to use the left. And for number 4, I'm going to use the right. Down here, you have a selection of audio source. You can use the audio source from any of these. I know that the best audio I have is attached to this camera. This is the source that I want to use. So I have audio source from camera 1. I'm going to do this as a single video. So I'm going to produce this as a single video. We'll click down here. And at this point, we are set to go. I just simply hit the record. And as the video plays, I just pick at my whim, if you would, what view I want to show. Now, at this point, I'm not worried about zooming into anything or anything like that. I just want the overall raw footage put into the view. So I'm going to start here with the front view. And we're going to click record.
Okay, zucchini boats are out of the oven. 375, 35 minutes, and they smell wonderful. So I'm going to, should have brought me a spatula over. Now, the one thing I did do, which I didn't do on camera, was I did take a little bit of oil and just drizzle it around the edges so they would cook. Definitely the zucchini's done. Give this a try. It is steaming hot.
You see Living the Dreams comment?
Want some of that filling. Whew. The one thing I didn't do before I took them out of the oven, what I should have done was put some of the grated parm on top, maybe turn on the broiler for a minute or two and brown the tops with the parm cheese on it. What I did was, after I put it out here on my island, I put some of the grated, shredded Parmesan cheese, and it's already melted onto it because it was hot and steamy. Actually very good. I can see these being a main meal, whether like I said, you do with a meatloaf type filling or pepperoni and your marinara sauce and cheeses and maybe some peppers and mushrooms with that. Yeah, there are a lot of ways to do this. This is good. And I think Anthony would like this, our 4-year-old grandson. So, hope you like, subscribe, share. So subscribe, click the red subscribe icon down below if you're not already. Hit the bell, that way you'll be notified with luck when our live streams go live or when we upload videos. Tell your family, tell your friends. Tell tell your local farm market person. This is a good way to advertise how good their veggies are. So you take care and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
And we're just going to go ahead and let that finish. It's just a few more seconds.
Lazy Bunny, normally, yes, I would. I mean, I scrub the vegetables, so I eat the zucchini skins. These were a little bit tough, so we just scraped out the inside. Hey, back to Rootstead.
Okay, so this has prepared this now, and you can see where I've used the different cameras, 1, 3, 4, 2, 4, 1, 3, 1. So just click OK, and what this will do is this will take this and dump it back onto the timeline. So what it has done is it has put together I'm going to use the term a sectioned video. Now, because this is raw footage, maybe I don't want the doorway over here to be shown. Maybe I just want to zoom in more on what Sherry's saying. So let's do that. We'll come over here to this, to the beginning. And we'll just open this up in the picture-in-picture editor. And let's just zoom in. We'll say OK for now. And let's see what this looks like now.
Okay, zucchini boats are out of the oven. 375, 35 minutes. And they smell wonderful.
Brad's comment, Daryl. That would be even better if you used a Julia Child voice. Maybe tip back a sherry bottle now and then.
Okay, so from the other view, from the other camera, we can go in and we can edit it. Again, we're gonna zoom in a little bit here. I think that's okay. And from the other side, we're going to take that one. We're going to again zoom in more on what Sherry's doing here. I'm keeping this to maintain the aspect ratio, so it's a plain zoom into the picture. And then I'm recentering the picture on where I'm zooming into. Now the overhead shot, this is an interesting one. This is the one that is taken by the GoPro. And if you have a GoPro, you know that you can only see what it's doing by the monitor screen on the back side of it. Well, that back side of it is up to the ceiling, and I can't hover up there to see the back of it. So I just aim it straight down and say, okay, I'll grab it here. And I've got it, it's going to pick up everything. I'm going to edit it down. If you look at this shot, though, here's some telltale things. Remember I told you the phone camera was over here on her left? And I said it was sitting on top of, what kind of pot is that? I don't know.
It's a Ninja Foodie.
It's a Ninja Foodie. It's sitting on top of a Ninja Foodie. Actually, it's sitting on a cookie tray that's balanced on top of a Ninja Foodie. You can see the edge of a tripod over here on this side. That's from the right side view. So now what I need to do is I need to zoom in to this. I don't want to show all the floor and all the rest of this. We're just going to come in a little closer. go back out a little bit. Now, I'm sure that it's very difficult for you to see at home, but there are very light dotted lines here that show me what will show up on the screen. And I'm moving this up and down on those. This is the right side, and here's the left side. So this is what I'm centering up on. And that looks fine to me, so we'll say okay. We're back to the front side. Let's go and we'll change this back. Now, I can go into this with keyframes, and I can zoom in and out as the video is playing, so you get a panning effect. But for the purposes of this tonight, we're not going to get involved with that.
It's also after 9 o'clock, Dan.
I know it's after 9 o'clock, so I'm trying to hurry here. But I'm also trying to make sure they pretty much see exactly what's happening.
Got that right, Wonderland.
Okay, so if I'm pretty happy with where I have the camera positioned here now on all these, we're going to just kind of proof it here very quickly.
Okay, zucchini boats are out of the oven. 375, 35 minutes, and they smell wonderful. Should have brought me a spatula over. Now, the one thing I did do, which I didn't do on camera, was I did take a little bit of oil and just drizzle it around the edges so they would cook. Definitely the zucchini's done. Give this a try. It is steaming hot. Want some of that filling. Whew. The one thing I didn't do before I took them out of the oven, what I should have done was put some of the grated parm on top.
All right, because it's running a little late here, I'm gonna make the assumption I'm happy with all the rest of this because I saw it as we did it. I could add transitions between these, and just to show you what that might look like instead of going
I can see these being
let's see. Instead of having the harsh
whew.
change,
The one thing I did,
like you just saw there, I can go into the transition room. I can select one of all crazy kind of things. We're going to do a rotate so you can easily see what's happening here. So now, between the two clips,
Whew. The one thing I didn't do when I
you can see how it has that rotate. It's a smoother transition between the scenes. I'm going to go ahead and take that back out. I'm going to assume that you're happy with this. So if you're happy with this, you just have to go back into the rendering area, to the produce room. And we're going to call this final end, because this is the second half of it. And we'll just render it. So it says it has another minute 20 to go. The rendering portion of this program is really pretty good. It may not be the fastest, but it's one of the fastest editing programs as far as rendering your videos. Much faster than Filmora is. Everything I did on this, you could do with Filmora. Not near as fast, not near as easy, a lot tougher to do. And there's so many other extra things within Power Director. I'm not saying Filmora is a bad program. It's a great beginner program. If you have no desire to...
does it compile also?
Well, MP4 is... So I go back to the edit page here, and this is the final video right here. And probably sometime tomorrow, you will see this as the second half of the Zucchini Boat Saga. Can we enter those in a boat race?
No.
We can put little sails on them and put them in the creek and see how far they get. Put a little note in them.
No. Won't work.
Won't work? Okay. So let me just ask here very quickly. Does anybody have any questions I can maybe answer? I know we ran a little long, and I'm sorry. Mr. Cool in the house. Brad, thanks for stopping in tonight. Well, Whole Heart, you can certainly pick this up afterwards. Okay, that's a great question. Living the dream. The problem with just raw footage is that's what it is. It's raw footage. Some people can do that very well, and other people can't do it worth a darn. I'm one of those that can't do it worth a darn. By the time we get set up and we start the cameras, and there has to be some editing. I have to be able to trim some off the front, trim some off the back. Maybe if you cursed in the middle, you want to cut that out. Maybe if you were showing how to do something and you dropped it, you don't want that in there. So there's 101 different reasons to edit. Now, how much editing you do, that's very subjective. By all means, getting started, use a camera. Use one camera. Don't use multiple cameras when you're getting started. The one camera is fine, but you still need to edit it. Having said that, if you have Macintosh, there's free editing programs for that come on it. Windows 10 has a free video editing program. It's not very powerful, but you can trim the front out, and you can shore up the back, and you can maybe add some music if you want to. There's a whole host of different things you can do. You don't have to spend any money at all. But if you are going to spend some money, if you want the ability to easily put together and edit multi-camera videos, I strongly recommend you look at PowerDirector. I believe PowerDirector, from a multi-camera standpoint, is probably the best program out there.
Is there a way to separate voice from video?
Absolutely. DaVinci Resolve is a fantastic program. It's just not as easy to do multi-view or multi-camera videos with it. Color grading on DaVinci Resolve is second to none. It's probably the best.
The link for PowerDirector is over here on the left-hand side under in our description.
Yeah, it should be in the description. If you at all have an interest, we appreciate you using the link. Anything else, hon, that you can think of?
Mm-mm.
All right. Well, special thank you to everybody that's here tonight. All of our moderators, those folks that are members of Smudge's Pack. Thank you so much. If you'd like to be a member of Smudge's Pack, you can click that join button down below, and we would love to have you. With that, we're going to call it an evening. If you have any questions, email twofamilyhomestead@gmail.com. And
I love ladies gardening.
I have to come back so I can finish talking. So we'll see you all later. We'll see you Thursday. We'll do another channel review thing. And next week we will just be here Monday and Tuesday.
Correct. Yep.
So
Night, everyone.
don't forget about the Kentucky picnic. So
September 12th, Grand Rivers, Kentucky.
Grand Rivers, Kentucky, September the 12th. Heartland Homesteaders Picnic. Okay. Take care, everyone. Thanks so much. Have a wonderful evening.